using newsfeed ranking, and then we inform people by providing more context about what they're seeing, and we give them tips for identifying false news. So let's talk a little bit about what we remove. As I mentioned, we remove content that violates your community standards. We disable accounts and work with law enforcement when we believe there's a genuine risk of physical harm or direct threats to public safety. We encourage respectful behavior. If you look through this, the community standards, a lot of questions that we get, actually come back to the community standards. When somebody breaks these policies, let's talk about what actually happens. So for violations, we remove anything that violates the community standards, obviously. We remove over 1 million fake accounts per day because fake accounts often seed and spread false news. And in Q1 of 2018, actually I have to read these stats, they're very specific, they're very good. We removed 583 million, most through artificial intelligence, within minutes of registration. That's where the AI is getting really good at picking up these accounts. So spam, of spam accounts, it's nearly 100% were captured by AI. Some accounts linked to terrorism, those sorts of things, hate speech. That's what we're working on here when it comes to breaking the community standards in that first bucket of violations. We're also removing, as mentioned, fake accounts. A lot of fake accounts are actually just financially motivated. So people are creating fake accounts to drive, link clicks off to websites, as we touched on earlier, where they're just trying to generate ad revenue. We're getting pretty good at removing those as well. We remove the financial incentives for these folks, and they tend to go away anyway, but we're pulling those accounts as well. And then we investigate the repeat offenders, and we remove those pages that are linked to hate speech, inauthentic identity, and other sorts of violations. And again, when we do this, we will remove them if they're violating policies, we remove them if they're fake accounts, and then we remove ultimately monetization rights for any account that kind of falls into this camp. And that's one way that we're cracking down in that remove bucket. So let's talk about reduce. So the content we reduce but do not remove from the platform. So as we said earlier, reducing the distribution of misinformation rather than removing it outright strikes the right balance between free expression and safe and authentic community. So for the content that doesn't violate our community standards, the most important action we take to fight the problem is reducing the likelihood that it shows up in your newsfeed. So we talked earlier about how newsfeed works and some of the signals that go into actually determining what you see in your newsfeed.